Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I usually don't touch these subjects, but I really don't like to see my people um, not knowing where all this is coming from or what's going on. Even with evidence and video evidence and anything you could think of to prove someone's guilt. It's just giving the blind eye and the excuse that all these trigger happy killers seem to be using is I feared for my life. And in one situation, a man's car breaks down in the middle of the road, gets out of his car, he's looking for help, and he gets gunned down by cops because she feared for her life. Just now with Philandio gunned down in his car with his seatbelt still on in front of his 4-year-old daughter, and the officer feared for his life. And it just seems to be a broken record. I feared for my life, I feared for my life. And you say, well, in those instances, and probably many other instances that go unrecorded, where people are posing absolutely no threat to these officers, and this excuse is going to keep going until you realize that this is not a thing about race. It's not anything about that. Everywhere on this flat earth plane, people of color are abused, exploited, killed, slaughtered, experimented on, and forgotten. Look at the Grenfell Tower now, the fire that happened in London. It's a lot of veil on that, a lot of stuff that's not being released, a lot of questions that are not getting any answers. So now, when you look into Black's Law Dictionary, and you can go online, and there's a free online dictionary, it's Black's Law Dictionary. I want you to look into the word monster, and you're going to get in monster a human birth or offspring. All right. And, last time I looked in the mirror, I wasn't a monster. Last time I went outside, I didn't really see any monsters. But here it is in Black's Law Dictionary. A human birth. All right, under the definition of monster. A human birth should not be anywhere near this classification or definition. Human birth. Okay? So when they say they fear for their life, this is what they mean. Because this is what they're taught. Alright? And this is, legally you're dead. Legally you're dead. And if you can't take that you're dead, they look at you as a monster and a zombie. Okay? Keep that word in mind as well. A monster and a zombie. Alright? So, when you say, oh, what do you mean by I'm legally dead or I'm lost out at sea? Well, I'm going to explain to you what that means. Okay? So, that you're clear and that you understand the language that's being used. You might go to a courtroom and feel that they're talking English, English that you talk, but a lot of what you think you're saying, or words they use in actually have and hold no meaning in a court of law. All right, so we go here to a natural person, okay, a human being naturally born versus a legal generated juridical person. All right, a legally generated juridical person. So now you're like, this is what they mean by your straw man. All right, because you're legally dead. And You're like, oh, what do you mean I'm legally dead? Okay. Let's get into the Sistu-Kievai Act of 1666. All right. And look at what it says here, plain. Existence of life. All right. Existence of life. All right. And this has never been, this still stands to this day. And this is what I mean by you're legally dead. All right. And don't think that none of this pertains to you, because it does. All right. London, 1666, during the Black Plague and the Great Fires of London, Parliament enacted an act behind closed doors called Sistu-Kievai Act of 1666. The act being debated was to subrogate the rights of men and women. All right, meaning all men and women were declared dead, lost at sea, beyond the sea. All right, because back then they were operating an admiralty law, the law of the sea, so lost at sea, which is basically the maritime laws, same shit. The state, London, took custody of everybody and their property into a trust. The state became the trustee, holding all titles to the people and property until a living man comes back to reclaim those titles. He can also claim damages. All right. When capital letters are used anywhere in a name, this always refers to a legal entity, fiction, company, or corporation, no exceptions, like John Doe or Jane. All right. You get your bills. You get, when you get the jury duty thing, it's all in capital letters. You get parking tickets, anything like that, your name is in capital, which is a straw man. All right, and that's the common term used in the United States Corporation of America or Canada. All right, and these are legal entity fictions created and owned by the government who created it. It is like owning a share in the stock market. You may own a share, but it is still a share of the stock. All right. Legally, we are considered to be a fiction, a concept or idea expressed as a name or a symbol. That legal person has no consciousness. It is a juristic person. Some abbreviations here: ENS, L, legis, a name, word written on a piece of paper. All right. This traces back to 1666 London. Is an independent city-state, just like the Vatican is an independent city-state, just like Washington is an independent city-state. Okay, Washington, D.C. is not even a fucking state in the United States, a corporation of fucking America. All right. Our only way is to reclaim your dead entity, your straw man, that the crown created, become the executor, and then collapse the called Sistu-Kievai trust and forgive yourself of your debts, and then remove yourself from the admiralty law that holds you in custody. This is why you always need representation when involved in legal matters, because you're dead. All right? Do you see this? I'm not making this up. I want to open your eyes, because you're asking so many questions and you're wondering why these, trigger happy killers get away with this shit. And I just want to show you. I can't blow it up anymore. It's because you're dead. I didn't write that there. It's because you're dead. Okay? So before I run out of time here, I want to get back to the Black's Law Dictionary. All right, and that was the Sistu-Kievai Act of 1666. Okay, so when you look at a juridical person, all right, is an entity as a firm that is not a single natural person, as, okay, where to go? As a human being authorized by law with duties and rights recognized as a legal authority having a distinct identity, a legal personality, also known as artificial person, juridical entity, juristic person, or legal person, also referred to body corporate. Okay, so I'm going to type in one last word real quick. Okay, I'm going to type in the word zombie. All right. And this is what they train them. This is, all right. So you're the zombie, all right, because you're dead. You're dead. You're legally dead. But when you look at zombie, okay, is a company that is insolvent but continues to operate. This is done before restructuring or a bailout occur. All right. So as you continue to operate under your straw man and answering to all those straw mans, you're a zombie and you're a monster and you're lost and you're dead at sea. And that's why they're going to keep getting away with the bullshit. Keep getting away with, I feared for my life. Because legally, we're all dead. And just like anyone, me or you, we'll be scared of monsters too.